What's up, everyone? We're back. It is a victory Monday. I know we played Saturday. We kind of all had a little 24, 48 hours to digest this game. I know everyone was on edge, but it was a great game to watch. It was a little frustrating, especially the first three quarters and a half. It was pretty frustrating until the last 4 minutes of the game is when we really started to feel pretty good about it. Um, Other than that, we are still in the thick of this playoff hunt. We had some things work out well for us this weekend we're going to get into. Um, but I got nothing else to say. We're going to get into the stats if you guys have anything else you want to add.
Nope.
Let's
All
get it going.
righty. All right, so we had two quarterbacks play once again. Of course, Tua got the start. He went 17 of 22, which isn't bad. Like, that's a great completion percentage. 94 yards, which isn't good, and one touchdown. And then Fitzpatrick came in. He went 9 of 13 for 182 yards and a touchdown. Myles Gaskin led the way. He had 14 carries, 87 yards. Savon Ahmed only had 6 carries for 2 yards. I think he was shaken up. I think he got hurt. I don't know how bad, but I think he definitely came out and was hurt. Our leading receiver was also Myles Gaskin. He had 5 catches for 82 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. Mike Gesicki had a good day. And Jakeem Grant had 5 catches for 43 yards. And Jakeem Grant is likely out for the season.
Uh, I mean, I don't know if you're done talking about players, or not players, talking about statistics. I'm good to talk about some of these players. I think we could start with Jakeem Grant. I think that would be a fun one to start with.
Go ahead.
I'm ready to move on from Jakeem Grant, to be honest. I don't even care what kind of value he brings as a returner. Someone else will bring that value. There's no reason that look, his speed is great and speed kills, but all I needed to see was him getting hit in the hands on what would have been probably a 60-yard play if he had just caught it. And he did catch it, but he bobbled it in his hands. I know you all know what I'm talking about. Drag over the middle. He bobbles it, and he can't even secure the first down.
Yep.
I don't need a receiver that can't catch on my team. I don't care how fast you are. If there's no threat that you'll catch the ball, your speed is irrelevant. We can find someone fast, or we're going to have to find someone fast. I'm done with Jakeem Grant.
Yeah, I was raging at that play. Ryan was over here watching the game with me, and I was pretty raged when he couldn't just catch the ball like a normal human being and run 40 yards downfield.
Yeah, when it hits him
Anytime,
in the hands.
anytime he's involved in a play, I'm scared.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know. And sometimes he
You don't
catches
know,
it.
you don't know what he's gonna do. You
Nope.
know,
He runs backwards sometimes. I know that I was watching with my parents. My dad gets very aggravated when
Yep.
Jakeem Grant catches the ball because sometimes when he does catch it, on the rare occasion that he catches it, he will run backwards. He did that in this game. He's lucky he still got the first down. He caught it, and the first reaction he had was to run towards his own end zone.
I know exactly what you're talking about. He
Yeah.
did luckily get the first down, but yeah.
But that's
tell you
just
what,
can't happen. I'm not, I'm sad that he's hurt, but I'm not sad that he's out. I would rather see Isaiah Ford and Malcolm Perry out there. Not that I love seeing them out there. I would just rather see them out there. I know at least Isaiah Ford can catch the ball.
well, and looking forward to next year, say we don't have him, say we cut him, we trade him, whatever the case, we have Albert Wilson coming back next year.
Mhm.
If he
So
makes the roster, I think it's going to be hard for him. But that's true. I'd rather have
I
Albert
think he
Wilson.
will.
I think Albert Wilson will be there next year if we decide to keep him on the team. I think his talent's still there.
Yeah,
He was a productive receiver.
Yeah.
Yards after catch are there. Um, he's not someone that's going to change your whole offense, but he's someone that could definitely help. Wide receivers is going to be interesting this offseason, whether it's they go out and get a free agent or whether it's they go out and attack it through the draft. I've never been a big fan of big spending on wide receivers. We saw how that works out for a lot of teams. I mean, Brandon Marshall wasn't a good fit for us. It'll be tough to see.
we've
See how that
we've
works out going forward.
drafted 2 Pro Bowl receivers now. We
Yeah.
might as well. Why not make a third?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true,
Um,
Jarvis.
we're not good in free agency with that. Like you said, Brandon Marshall. I mean, aside from that, we don't do well with that.
Mike Wallace is
Mike
another one.
Wallace, I was going to say there's a kind of a laundry list of signings that haven't worked out
Yeah.
as opposed to just drafting. Also, this wide receiver class is loaded. Beyond the big three,
Yes.
the first ones, there's plenty of wide receivers to choose from in all
Yeah.
of the rounds.
I did a few mock drafts actually just before we got on. We're on this playoff run. We're not going to get thick into the draft hunt, but with that third pick, it's you can get the OT from Oregon. You can get Chris Olave later in the draft, Najee Harris. You can still get a bunch of these weapons. I just don't know if they're going to be able to get that Devonta Smith or Jalen Waddle or Jamar Chase with that third pick.
Devontae Smith could be there at 3.
Oh no, he'll be there at 3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
we're not taking him at 3 though.
yeah,
If you have that third overall pick, you take that left tackle without even questioning it. I don't even think that
Yeah.
you accept a trade offer unless it is a king's ransom. We won't get into the draft, but unless it's a king's ransom, you don't trade out of that third overall pick, unless you're trading back one spot from a quarterback needy team. That because you do not want to miss out on that left tackle. This offensive line is still, I guess we could move to that. I still don't think this offensive line is good. They're okay. They're average. They're passable. Sometimes they're bad. Sometimes they're good.
Austin Jackson is, oh my, he's atrocious.
Doesn't that make you want to take?
Killing us, dude. He's killing us right now.
Doesn't that make you want to take a left tackle?
We need our next Quentin Nelson.
Oh
Yeah.
God, yeah, love players like that.
We need a guy just like that, and he's worth the draft pick.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jackson, you can kick over to like right tackle or guard or something. I'm not worried about him. You have so many first round picks between this year and last year. It doesn't really even matter what happens to him. They're doing fine and they're winning now. So barely, but they're winning. Anyways, let's go to a different position.
Yeah, let's get into the whole quarterback debacle. As we all know, Tua was benched, and it makes me uneasy, but it also we're not winning that game if Tua finishes. Tua's not throwing that last ball. Tua's probably going to take that sack when he's getting hit in the face mask. He's probably going to take the sack, and I don't think we would win that game, and our playoff hopes would be theoretically gone. We would not be in a playoff push like we are now.
It doesn't make me uneasy at all anymore. The first time it happened, it made me uneasy, and this time that it happened, I was able to make sense of all of it pretty clearly. You have two quarterbacks on the roster, and I think starting Tua is always the right move. I don't mean that it's the right move for the future. I mean it's the right move to win every game is to start Tua, because Tua plays a careful style of football that won't lose you the game right now, and he has the potential to have a big game too, but he's also a rookie with no preseason. He had no offseason. You know where he is. We're basically dealing with a raw talent that's careful versus a reckless gunslinger that's not careful. I don't want the gunslinger to start the games because you've seen how that goes. That ends up looking like the Buffalo Bills. That ends up looking like the Patriots in week 1. That ends up looking like Seattle, where you have games that you definitely could win, but then he throws 3 picks. Tua will never do that. So I'm okay with it. I think you've got 2 quarterbacks, one that should be starting and playing, and if he can't get the job done, we have the luxury of putting in Fitz. The team is mentally strong and they can handle it. I have no problem with it. This is not a forever thing. This is just something until Tua gets his feet under him, which he still hasn't gotten. No rookie quarterback figures it out in 5 games, 6 games, 7 games. That's just not how it works. That's why I don't have a problem with it. What do you think, Ryan?
No, yeah, I completely agree. I was obviously when he was benched in the first game, it was a little more surprising to me. In the second game, I didn't like it at first, obviously, because like we said, he wasn't playing bad, but he wasn't playing good. He was throwing 2-yard passes, and then we get set up for a 3rd and 8, and then we'd have to punt. And the Raiders were a pretty fast-paced offense, and we have to keep up with them. And Fitz will sling the ball down the field, and obviously he won us the game.
Yep.
So
I have something to say on that.
Let me tell you something.
Go ahead.
Let me tell you something. So I don't know if you guys saw my Twitter. I have NFL Game Pass, so I did watch the coach's film from that game. I watched every single pass from Tua and Fitz, every pass. And guys, I'm trying to be completely transparent here. Tua is missing open guys.
Yeah,
he is.
Okay, and one quarterback's been in the offense.
Most of the game, the Raiders were in a Tampa 2 defense, which for Madden players, you know what that is. You have 2 corners staying short. You have 2 safeties deep,
throw it over
linebackers in the middle of the field.
Deep middle. They should always be taking that deep middle shot.
In between the Tampa 2, between the corners and the safeties, Mac Hollins and whoever was on the other side would want to run a streak.
Bowden.
Guys, those were open all game. Those streaks down the sideline were open all game. Guess what play got us in field goal range?
That streak
down the sideline.
Yeah.
It was there all game. I'm not kidding you. I put it on my Twitter. You can go look. It was there all game down the sidelines. And it's just you have to fit the ball. There was like 15 yards between the cornerback and the safety that you could fit that ball in. And 15 yards, that's a ton
of space.
That's a huge window in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, so it was there, and I don't know if it's I know Tua has to go through his reads. I don't know if they're telling him Tua, your first read is a drag, second read is the next shortest route, third read chuck it deep, but
Yeah.
it was there. It was there.
I think that Fitz just has a lot more experience. That's all. He's been in the offense longer. He knows the playbook inside and out. He's not afraid to take shots. And Tua said it himself. He takes what the defense gives him. I guess there's some stuff that he's missing. You said he missed it. That's gonna happen. He's a rookie. He's gonna miss shots. That won't happen forever. He'll get comfortable and he'll be the future. It's not that we don't like what we've seen from Tua. It's just he's not there yet. And one quarterback is at their ceiling and the other one is at their floor. That's just how I see it. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a
He
thing to
hasn't
expect.
really Tua. I'm a big fan, but
Me
he
too.
hasn't impressed me. There's been 2 games where I've been like, oh, this kid's good, and then out of the rest of his 6 other games, I've been like, all right, like come on.
He has something that can't be taught and something that makes me like, for example, you have the 3rd overall pick. I'm not taking a quarterback with that pick.
No,
He has
I'm not
amazing accuracy. He has great athleticism. He's still coming into his own. Like it, it is what it is. And if he hasn't impressed us yet, I wouldn't say he's been unimpressive. He just hasn't been like a world-beating all-star Patrick Mahomes. And you know what? Patrick Mahomes wasn't Patrick Mahomes to start. So everyone gets there. And none of these quarterbacks are at the upper echelon started off that way. Go
We
watch
got we
Brady's
got to
film.
remember something. We
Yeah.
we weren't even sure he'd play this year.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think he's overperformed, not overperformed, but he's performed well given
We didn't know
his
he'd play this year, and now we're sat here about to make the playoffs, and he only has 2 interceptions in 8 games. That's
and 2
pretty fucking
losses
good.
in 8 games.
Yeah,
Yeah, and 2 losses.
yeah.
that's pretty good.
That's
I
nothing.
mean,
You're too hard. You're too harsh.
I'm gonna support the man. As long as he's a quarterback for my team. But oh man, I'm just getting some bad RT17 vibes, man.
This is nothing like that. They have no similar skill set. Do y'all watch the game last night with Green Bay and Tannehill? I saw the same Tannehill I saw in 2013 in the Green Bay game. They have totally different skill sets, and it'll only be a matter of time until the play calling and he gets comfortable with what's available to him. They open up the playbook for him, all that stuff. I think that they'll get there.
Yep.
Do you have anyone on the defensive side you want to talk about, like Howard or
Yes,
Jones?
I do. So, well, I have 4 people.
Okay.
First, we'll talk about Byron Jones. Byron Jones was kind of just unlucky. I wouldn't say he was, he played bad, and I was pretty enraged at him when I was watching the game because it was like between the DPI that he got and the long touchdown.
Yeah.
But first of all, the long touchdown was a push off.
Yep.
And we
saw it.
Aguilar?
Yep. Besides that, dude, he was covering that guy for like 10 seconds. Like you when man-to-man coverage, you can only chase someone for so long.
Yeah.
And he was still on him. It's just a matter of it was a good throw, I guess. You got the push off. You didn't get the flag. And then Bobby McCain's playing ring around the rosary trying to tackle him.
Yeah, that was never the second they were there with 5 yards between them. He fished it.
I think Bobby should have played up as well.
Yeah, I don't know. You should have just tried to like slow him down or something, not just keep letting him run. But,
I don't know.
And then the DPI on Byron Jones was very weak. I'm not going to blame him for that. He did not tug his shoulder. He touched it, and it might have looked like he tugged it. He touched his shoulder almost because he's looking at the ball. He needs to feel where the receiver is.
Yeah.
So he's looking at the ball. He touches his shoulder and goes up for the ball. I don't see how that was a flag.
Yeah, it was a weak call. And
Very weak call.
But I don't think he had a bad game. I think he had an unlucky game. And I think
No,
Xavier Howard had a defensive player of the year game. He shut Ruggs down completely.
He allowed -1 receiving yards yesterday or Saturday.
Yeah, he was gold. No complaints from Howard. Or I'm not going to complain about Rowe. I don't know if you're going to talk about Rowe. Eric Rowe got schooled by Darren Waller, and I'm not going to complain about it. That was blanket coverage. He just got beat by someone that's better than him. There were times where he was like this on him, and he got beat.
Yeah.
And you can say that you expect someone to make a play. We've got a Pro Bowl, probably the best receiving tight end, not even close, the best receiving tight end right now. Rowe did what he could. He's not a monster. He's not an all-star. He's not an all-pro. He can do what he can do. He was blanket coverage, and he got beat.
Rowe has had 2 bad games, and they've come against Travis Kelce and Darren Waller.
Yeah.
So, other than that, he's done a fantastic job this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I don't.
And he was tight on Waller on all those catches. It was just like
Waller's a freak.
he was so close to getting I would have liked to see one of them fall incomplete, and I would have been like, all right, good job,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But besides them, I do want to talk about two linebackers. Well, I guess two linebackers, Jerome Baker and Andrew Van Ginkel. I'm gonna look it up right now as we discuss this. But Jerome Baker, the last 4 weeks, has been absolutely outstanding. I think he has at least 4 sacks in the last 4 weeks. Um, Andrew Van Ginkel had 2 sacks, and the other thing that I'm going to talk about is how much the Elandon Roberts injury will impact our run defense.
Yeah, I think that Baker's played really well when he's gotten in, and I think Van Ginkel's just a playmaker overall. He's just always making some kind of play. I think he was a gem, great draft pick, and Baker probably deserves an extension. Maybe not a huge one.
How many sacks do you think Jerome has?
7 or
He
8.
has 7
I'm
sacks.
gonna go. He's got 7.
He's
7.
got 7 sacks.
It's a lot
Wow.
that's a lot for an off-ball linebacker. We have to like emphasize that he is absolutely an
In
off-ball
the last
linebacker.
3 games, he has 4.5 sacks.
And do you know what also? I think that a lot of his production comes from when he's playing more, because a lot of the games he doesn't play much. If you haven't realized, they cut his roll down really small for a lot of the middle stretch of the season when he wasn't being as productive. It's because he just wasn't on the field as much. He's not a guy that's played a lot of snaps this season.
Nope. So, but yeah, what do you think of the Atlanta Roberts injury? Let's say we get into the playoffs and we have to play a team like Tennessee. Atlanta Roberts is our run stopper. What are we doing with that?
Getting ran on by Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that would match up with us, but that would not be fun.
We're gonna get ran on, and you're gonna have to put Kyle Van Noy or Baker in that spot and hope for the best.
None of them can hit like he can,
Nope,
though, man.
not at all.
It'll be tough, but we'll see going forward. And then the other thing I want to talk about is the wide receiver room. So we talked about Jakeem Grant. Let's talk about Preston Williams. Preston Williams is eligible to return. And Brian Flores said he's going to evaluate Preston Williams in practice this week. And Devontae Parker will play next week. I can promise you that he will play next week. So if we get Devontae Parker and we somehow get Preston Williams back next week, or let's say we win and we get Preston Williams and Devontae in the playoffs, that's huge. I mean, I know Preston Williams isn't some all-perennial receiver, but that's someone to worry about.
Yeah, I think it'd be great to have him back, especially with Jakeem Grant out. Yeah, I think that they both being on the field together makes both of them much better. I think Devontae Parker isn't the same unless Preston Williams is on the field, and I don't think Preston Williams is the same unless Devontae Parker's on the field. Mm-hmm. So I think having them both would be great. I'm not going to hold my breath on that.
I mean, if we were to get both back, that's huge. You know, I know, like I said, Preston Williams isn't some great receiver, but that is someone the defense has to focus on, and that takes less pressure off Devontae Parker. That takes less pressure off Mike Gesicki. And maybe you'll see some more open receivers. You know, Preston Williams kind of has hands like Jakeem Grant, except Preston Williams can make the jump ball catches.
Yes.
So
I wouldn't say. I think Preston Williams deals with inconsistency. I think
Yeah.
Jakeem Grant's not a very good receiver.
Jakeem
I think
Grant's-
there's a difference. I think Preston Williams' ceiling is also much higher because he is only a second-year player and only played half of each of his 2 seasons, and he was an undrafted player, so his ceiling is a lot higher. I think Jakeem Grant's like at his ceiling, and it's scary sometimes.
Yeah. All right. So, player of the game. Whoever would like to go first.
I'd like to go first because I think mine might be different, and it could be the same for you guys. No question, mine is Mac Hollins, and I don't think that would be one that you guys would pick, but I'm going to say Mac Hollins for 2 reasons. One, we won the game off of Mac Hollins' catch down the sideline. He was able to catch the ball, get out of bounds. I know that was more of a Fitz play than a Hollins play, but I mean, he was a part of it. And then the other play, this sole play alone that just makes Mac Hollins everything. Myles Gaskin had an incredible touchdown catch for 60 yards, and that play does not happen without the key block from Mac Hollins. He took out 2 guys, and he took them out good. He is a monster blocking receiver. I would keep Mac Hollins around for years. I don't know if he's a free agent, but I would keep him around for years to come because he's okay at he's a special teamer that's got room to grow with receiving skills in terms of catching the ball, but when it comes to like when he's not catching the ball, he's gold. With his blocking, he's a great gunner, or whatever position he plays.
Yeah.
He's really good. So I just like what he does when he doesn't have the ball in the hands, and that led to touchdowns. So he's my player of the game.
Right.
I'm going Jason Sanders.
Okay.
I thought so. That's what I thought you were gonna say.
It's a pretty
Yeah.
safe pick. He did everything he was asked to do,
Yeah.
and he won us the game at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. How many field goals did he have? Four?
3 or 4.
I think
Yep, didn't miss any.
3 or 4.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. His last one, he drilled the game-winning 42-yarder. I
Yep.
think it was.
Yeah.
And that's
42.
impressive because I can't imagine the amount of pressure on that kind of game.
Yeah.
Right.
So
And I'm sure he was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna have to kick today. Like it's only 19 seconds." Then it was like, boom, 60
Yeah.
yard or 40-yard play. Oh shit! Let me start warming
yeah,
up.
yeah.
With that, it was between him and Miles Gaskin was a close second.
Miles Gaskin is mine.
Okay.
So
I'm glad we all
I
had
think,
those players in
I
mind.
think 169 yards and 2 touchdowns goes. It can't go unnoticed. He averaged 6.2 yards per carry. He was breaking off 10 to 15-yard runs consistently. That one touchdown definitely credit needs to go to Mac Hollins, but Miles Gaskin did break the first tackle, and then he did see his blockers and did circle back around. So he did break the first original tackle. But yeah, my player of the game goes to Miles Gaskin. So
Totally
nobody
deserved.
chose Fitz, huh?
Mm-mm.
No,
The hero. Nobody chose him.
He didn't
was
mean
a
to do
hero,
that.
but I don't think he did quite enough. He didn't do quite enough to get player of the game.
He
I-
didn't mean to do that.
he did. I'm literally going to tell you he didn't mean to do that. That was totally an accident. He was looking the other way, just
But
chucking
either
the
way,
ball up.
he makes that throw and Tua doesn't.
Oh, of course, 100%. Tua doesn't.
You know?
Tua doesn't even take that throw. I don't even think Tua's trying.
Who was
'Cause
taking the sack?
Tua's taking the sack. 100%
All right.
Tua takes the sack there.
So last thing let's talk about. Guys, it is week 17. And the playoffs are next week. Next week. Right now, the Miami Dolphins are 10-5, sitting at the 5th seed. Right? The Ravens are 6th seed at 10-5. The Browns are the 7th seed at 10-5. That's who's in the playoffs right now if the season ends this week. The only one team that's in the hunt is the Colts, who are 10-5. Hold on, I just got a little message. We're good. We have 10 minutes, guys. So the Colts are in the hunt. The Dolphins get in the playoffs with 4 scenarios. They can win, which is the easiest. You win at Buffalo, you're in the playoffs. The Ravens lose, they're in the playoffs. The Browns lose, they're in the playoffs. Or if the Colts lose, they're in the playoffs. I don't know the matchups off the top of my head. You guys probably help me out. The Ravens play the
Bengals.
Bengals.
Ravens
Browns
play the Bengals, Colts
Browns
play
play
the
the-
Jaguars, and the Browns play the Steelers.
Yep. So we're rooting for the Bengals,
Jaguars.
Jaguars, and Steelers.
That's a hard trio to root for, considering that the Steelers are going to rest their starters and their.
Now, sorry, real quick. Following the Tennessee Titans loss against Green Bay last night, where do they play a role in this? If they lose, they'll be 10-6.
So
that
I
have
think
to count
Tennessee
on?
already. I think
Tennessee has not won their division yet. They're 10-5 like the Colts.
Yeah, that's a two-way tie between them. I think
So-
if Tennessee loses, I don't think we have the tiebreakers. I don't know. I don't think
I don't
Tennessee.
think we have the tiebreaker over Tennessee.
Yeah, so I think that we wouldn't get in. They would.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
think
sure about Tennessee.
I think Tennessee clinched the wild card no matter what.
I'm not sure, but
Tennessee clinches with a Baltimore loss or a Miami loss or a Tennessee
Yep.
tie. They have a good chance of making it.
they have a good chance of making it, and we
They have a lot
need
of
to win our
tiebreakers.
game. Yeah, we need to win our game.
Yeah.
We win our game.
That's it. We need to win our game. And that's, we'll look forward to that. We could talk about like our draft position, but let's talk about that next week because then
Yeah.
it'll be
We'll
locked.
talk about that when the season's over.
It'll be locked. So
I don't care about
next
that
week,
right
yeah.
now. So anyways, we got the Bills this week. I think it's going to be like 34-degree weather. I looked, so it's not too bad. It's not like Lambeau was last night. It's a 1:00 game. They did not flex it to a prime time.
When's the last time we won in Buffalo?
Oh man,
Couldn't tell. I can't remember.
that would have to be I think when we had Jay Ajayi in 2016. I think we
Yeah.
swept Buffalo.
I was gonna say I think Tannehill won in Buffalo one time ever.
I think Jay Ajayi we had 200 rushing yards on them both times
Right.
against Buffalo. So I think we beat them 2016. I'd say.
I think that if the Buffalo rests their starters, that would be crucial. I still think we could beat them if they don't, though.
I wonder if all these games are 1:00. I think they are.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I'll be tuning into many different games on Sunday.
Me too.
The
Someone's
heartbreak,
bound to lose, right? Someone's bound to lose.
you can
I
hope.
I think the most likely, we all know this, but the most likely is the Browns losing to the Steelers do.
Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
the
I
Browns are brown.
I don't see the Jaguars upsetting the Colts at all, and the
The only
Ravens.
thing I could say about the Jags is they have nothing to lose. Like they're locked in that number one pick. I guarantee they want to go out with a bang. Like I'm sure they want to go out with a win. They already, locked up the number one pick, so I'm sure they're going to give it their all. That's
Yeah,
the only thing I'll say as far as that game. Doesn't mean they're a better.
I I would agree with that. I just think the Colts are pissed following that loss, and they're going to come
Yeah.
out. They're going to come out and beat the living piss out of them, I think. Um, as for the Ravens
Ravens.
Bengals game, that's a division rival game, so the Bengals are going to want to win that game.
Yep.
Um, so we have, we can look forward to that. And then, at the end of the day, we have to win our game. And then number two is rooting for the Steelers.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
We got a good chance. I mean, we have a good chance to make it. So we'll see what happens. We're gonna do a preview later in the week for the Bills game, and we'll go deeper into the playoffs, stuff like that. But I'm all done here. If you guys have anything else you want to talk about,
No, I think for me that's it.
all good.
thumbs it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Randy, go ahead, give your closing regards.
Cool. Everybody just make sure you like the video, comment, subscribe, share the video with everyone you know, your dog, neighbor, your mom, grandma, your neighbor's grandma, everyone. Just make sure that
Your
you,
dolphin.
yeah, every dog, dolphin, just everyone you know, get the video out. And thanks for watching.
All right, guys. Peace.
Peace. Fins
All right.
up.